debate rages on over Bad Bunny's halftime show from Sunday, with many conservatives upset at the NFL's decision to have a Spanish language performance on the country's biggest stage.
One of the many expressing outrage was former Fox News host Megyn Kelly, who blasted the performance when she went on Piers Morgan's show. I'm sure it was a measured take. Let's watch.
To get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country.
Wow. Piers Morgan pushed back on Kelly, arguing that the U.S. does not have an official national language. That led to this argument.
This attitude that you have right here is why you in Great Britain have lost your culture. You ceded your culture to a bunch of radical Muslims who came in and took over, and now it's gone. We're not allowing that here. Whether it's Hispanic, whether it's Muslim, it's not happening in the United States of America. That's why President Trump was elected. Football, that kind of football, is ours. They call it American football. And the halftime show and everything around it needs to stay quintessentially American.
Oh boy, those comments were echoed by other conservative voices, such as Matt Walsh, who wrote on X, "Why would the most iconic American sporting event of the year celebrate a culture that has absolutely nothing to do with the sport and has contributed basically nothing to it? There's a record number of Hispanics in the NFL this year, and still there were only 32 total on the rosters, which is an average of one per team." One of the most viral statements on the performance came from YouTuber and boxer Jake Paul. Before the game started, he posted on X, "Turn off this halftime, a fake American citizen performing who publicly hates America. I cannot support that."
Paul sparked a lot of backlash with that post, as many pointed out that Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, making him a U.S. citizen. Even Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez responded, writing, quote, "Didn't you move to Puerto Rico to avoid paying your taxes while kids across America go hungry? Meanwhile, Benito actually funds low-income kids' access to arts and sports program, while you defund them. Of course you're mad. He makes you look small." Jake Paul himself confirmed that he, in fact, does live in Puerto Rico, having moved there with his brother Logan several years ago.
Yeah, all right, he should sit this one out then. Paul responded to the backlash on Monday and clarified his stance. He said he called Bad Bunny a fake citizen, not because he's from Puerto Rico, but because of how he's criticized the U.S., especially its immigration enforcement.
As Jon Stewart said, people like Megyn Kelly, he didn't reference her directly, but he said this last night, they had the nerve to complain about Bad Bunny didn't do enough to unify this country. They only found out that Puerto Rico was a part of the country few days ago when Bad Bunny was announced as a performer. Also, when they support a president that has done more to divide this country, that's kind of absurd, talking out both sides of your mouth at the same time. This is just a stupid and foolish argument. Megyn Kelly should be embarrassed when she's talking about American performers and people that represent the country. You think about Rolling Stones. Was she okay with that? U2. Was she okay with that? Paul McCartney, Sting, these all are not American people, and she probably tuned into the show and didn't say a lick of a word, okay? Because they're not actually American performing. Bad Bunny is from Puerto Rico, an American citizen performing. People in America speak Spanish. I'm sorry that you didn't understand. Put it in Google Translate. Most people were dancing and could recognize that the music's actually good. You remember when the world sang Gangnam Style? Do you know what that song means or what it stands for? No, but billions of people around the world, including the U.S., were doing this to Psy. It's still the most streamed video on YouTube. You remember it? Okay.
I remember it. It's a great video.
Exactly.
I love it.
So if Megyn Kelly could understand that and the world understands that, she needs to get on board. People were salsa dancing, having a good time. People need to understand that just because it's not for you this one time, get over it. Also, I'm laughing in her face because that Turning Points event, President Trump wasn't even watching it. We have video of him actually watching Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. No, I can't. Cares. Because this is all embarrassing take. Everybody who has any critiques for Bad Bunny that surround him not being American are not only dumb, they're just misinformed and foolish.
No one is saying he's okay. Yes, I was gearing up to mostly agree with you, but now I don't think I do after that tirade.
Rant.
Some of the criticisms we referenced there are not the most intelligent critiques I've ever heard. Yes, he is an American, and America is not just the United States. Our hemisphere, the Americas, contains a lot of Spanish-speaking people. So Megyn Kelly's analogy there to you're losing your country because you're permitting too many Muslims is not really an apt metaphor because this, like, from a U.S. perspective, there should be a major difference between like refugees from the Middle East and Spanish-speaking people of like they are Americans. America includes Latin America and South America and the Caribbean, and Puerto Rico is even part of the United States. So these are not similar metaphors. We have Spanish cuisine and Spanish music as a part of the Southwest and a part of America, and so that was not, she was getting she's making it sound like she just wants it to be white.
Exactly.
But
making it sound racist.
well, it could be white every now and then. There's not been white performers for the last however many Super Bowls in a row.
Well, however many Super Bowls there were, it's mostly white performers. If you look at the majority, go look at the history. It's mostly
okay, now for the last 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years, get over it. Jay-Z runs it now. But for years, it's been white people. So that critique is foolish. Look at all the years, look at all the white people, and then you can balance it out. Does it match the demographics of our country? Probably so. More white people than not.
Well, not in the last 6 years. I don't care. I liked most of these past performances that have taken place anyway. And I liked this one too. I wasn't familiar with the music. Like, I like Latin music. I like Shakira when she did it. I liked Lady Gaga's part. I like Ricky Martin. I know who those people are. I didn't know who Bad Bunny was, even though I've probably heard his music in the background in a club or something. I just didn't know who he was specifically until they announced him for the Super Bowl, and none of his songs are identifiable to me. That's probably the case also for some of these older commentators who are saying, I didn't love it, and they're wrongly latching onto, I don't like it because it's some outside other, where if it was someone they had heard on the radio, like Shakira or Gloria Estefan or something, from back in the day, it's not really about it being Spanish, it's just about it being unfamiliar. That's what I would say. This is a younger person's artist, and 10 years from now, it wouldn't have been controversial, is my guess. It's just not widely known to older people yet. Is that fair?
Sure.
Is that fair?
So
nothing wrong with it.
So
I enjoyed the performance. I enjoyed the dancing.
So Megyn
I would have
Kelly,
enjoyed it more if I liked the songs. I liked the part not Gwen Stefani, Lady Gaga. I liked the part Lady Gaga did because I knew that song.
Okay.
Okay, that's all.
So
all.
you talked about old people. So let's talk to Megyn Kelly, the old lady.
Okay.
Sit out of this conversation. It's not for you. Nobody wants you to listen to it. Go watch Turning Points. 5 million people were over there. We see who all the delinquents are that like Kid Rock. Kid Rock was popular in 1998. You can watch that show. Nobody cares.
Kid Rock
5
before
million
the Super
people
Bowl.
watched it. I don't care. In 1998, 5 million people watched Turning Points event. 120 plus million people watched the Super Bowl. 511 million people watched it on Apple Music.
Who cares?
So Megyn Kelly,
right.
go with your small crowd. You are in the minority here, and she's so mad that nobody cares because
you're mad.
I am mad because she's being racist. She literally is saying she doesn't want somebody that speaks Spanish performing because that's after we colonized Puerto Rico. She's saying she doesn't want somebody to speak Spanish performing. She's a delinquent. That's like delinquency and foolishness, like racism to the top core. I want to see more white people because football is white. What? Mostly made up of black players. What are you talking about, lady? So it's just embarrassing when she speaks, and especially in ways like this that are degrading people just because they're Spanish. I'm not going to accept that. And so, yes, it's laughable and embarrassing that Turning Points had that other event, which was racist in itself. Nobody watched.
Racist for them to have an
Yeah,
event?
because they called it All-American, as if the Super Bowl event wasn't All-American. It was wholly American. We colonized Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny's an American. So the fact that we're calling it All-American over there is coded language, and we all know that. So Megyn Kelly is embarrassing.
The politics. That was
whatever.
about.
It's always about something else. Trump is about not seeing the screenshot, which is why he posted Obama as apes. It's always about something else.
It was about Bad Bunny's political views, which were opposed to immigration enforcement. That's what he said. He didn't do any of that at the Super Bowl, which is great.
MTG
but he did
is opposed to Trump.
No, what?
MTG is opposed to Trump. So why
does that have to do with
So
it?
I'm saying like a
Not that
lot of
he's
people are
opposed
opposed
to
to
Trump,
Trump and his views.
It's that he was opposed to immigration policies that conservatives support. So they were declining to support him by watching him because he spoke up about policies they disagreed.
And it was an L. Compared to the numbers, it was a complete fail.
Well, obviously it was going to be. People are watching the Super Bowl, and they don't
Exactly.
change their channel. They
So
weren't
Jake
watching
Paul,
the-
it's an L. You live in Puerto
It's not
Rico,
a
it's an L.
comparison.
TP USA, you thought it was going to be a comparison. That was an L. So everybody just go ahead and get on board. Spanish language is the second most spoken language in our country. Learn a lick of
Second.
Spanish. Yeah, learn a lick of Spanish. I go internationally all the time because I have a docuseries that travels. Most people know 2 languages besides Americans. We should actually try to learn more languages. When you go to other countries, they might know English and something. And so why would you deter people from learning other languages? It's beautiful that we are a melting pot here and speak more than one language. It's the second most spoken language in our country. Read what the lyrics are all about. Dance a little bit. Get the stick up. Like, I'm not even going to go. I'm done talking to Megyn Kelly. She's embarrassing. Hang it up, lady. Old lady, like you said. Ancient people who don't get it, she's the one. Ancient.
All right, well, now I feel obligated to you're turning me against this, but so let's just leave it there.
The New York Times editorial board is reversing course a bit on their marijuana stance. Stick around.